Alright, everybody. I am still alive. Let's run over what we got here now that we've got that out of the way. Still feeling kind of iffy most mornings. Takes me a while to get moving. But I've been super busy. And to be honest, the camera has been somewhat of a distraction. I have attempted to shoot videos on some jobs that I've done. And I'm just not with it enough yet after my procedure to handle both doing the job and doing it correctly and managing the camera. I'm fallible. So this and this are for Sylvester. It's the AC manifold with the high and low pressure lines. One goes to the condenser and one goes to the collector. This one right here goes to the collector. That one there goes to the condenser. So we've got that to do. Then we come over here to this batch and we have parts tree parts. So what are they? Well, we have bushings for the steering on the Cub Cadet. We have, those are plastic bushings, by the way. We have more bushings for the steering for the Cub Cadet. I figured if I'm going to fix part of it, I may as well do it all. Then I have another bushing for the Cub Cadet. This is the one that the steering column itself goes down into. And for just a couple bucks more, I got the gear, pinion gear for the steering sector gear, the big gear. So we've got that. We've got that stuff for the Cub Cadet under here. Today was kind of a whirlwind day. It's later in the afternoon. It's almost 4 o'clock. Excuse me. Almost 4 o'clock. Day started out super busy, dodging raindrops, going and helping this person and that person and the other person. And then I got a phone call. The phone call was one that I had gotten some time ago regarding a certain something that someone was trying to unload. They weren't really trying really hard to, but what they wound up doing was calling my buddy Larry and telling him, just come and get it, it's got to go. And I'll show you what that's all about here in a minute. But got a John Deere in here, John Deere push mower. It is in here for the same reason that most of my repairs have been for thus far this season. That wonderful, and you guys have heard me talk about it time and time again, ethanol fuel. Now it's got the fresh start canister that's supposed to be in here to keep the fuel fresh, but they have not replaced that cartridge to keep the fuel fresh. And guess what happened? That wonderful ethanol fuel has started eating away at the carburetor. So we'll pull the carburetor off, we'll run it through the sonic cleaner and get that taken care of. I pulled the old Squire in here. I'm OCD everywhere. I'm even OCD when it comes to raking up my branches. You can see I've got a considerable pile there. Let's get around here. Coming around. Okay. I raked up my branches so that I could grab my old Squire and my trailer. And I made, not intentionally, but I wound up making a perfect rectangle out of all my branches. So this one has fallen since. Anything that's inside the circle has fallen since I raked the branches up. But like I said, I've been dodging raindrops. And we've had a couple storms come through today, which made for an interesting ride home, which should be a pretty decent clue. And all this stuff's getting torn down for scrap. I'll save what I can out of it, but most of it's going for scrap. Anyway, I may as well just show you This, my fine folks, is what today was all about. It is a 2005 Yamaha V-Star Classic 1200 cc. It is a beast. Absolute joy to ride with the beach bars. Beach bars were added, some other things were added, like the parking lamps were added to it, and a few other things. But like I said, 2005, so it's 14 years old. Alright, let me show you the pretty amazing thing about this. You can hear the fuel pump ticking up there and building up pressure. Look at the miles. And if it doesn't show up clear enough, I'll tell you. 4,753 miles. That's it. That's all that's on it. I just put 15 miles on it. Yes, it starts, runs, and rides. It does have some issues. It's been sitting for quite a long time. You see here, charging up the battery. The battery was at 80%. It wasn't bad. It just, all the cranking that we had to do initially to get it started and to get it here drained the battery down. So just the miles that I rode from picking it up to here, charged the battery up to, I believe it was 85%. Let's see. Well, it's saying it's 100% charged now, and I just put the charger on it about, I don't know, 15 minutes ago. So was at like 85%. So the stator was picking up the slack and going through and charging it back up. And I even got a free pair of sunglasses to go with the deal. We were either going to load it up in the back of Sylvester, or I was just going to ride it. I thought, you know what, I'm game. Let's just see if we can't get this thing home under its own power, and also run some of the issues out of it. Issues being just it has sat and sat and sat. What did I pay for this beautiful 2005 Yamaha? Yamaha, ha, 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 ha. I'm almost embarrassed to say. I am almost embarrassed to say. I'll tell you this. It was more than $999. It was less than $1,001. I really kid you not. His main reason, he's getting up in years, a little bit older than I am, and just this was just a toy, and it being just a toy for him, he really didn't see the sense in keeping it over having his wife's Purdy Buick sitting outside to get pummeled by acorn nuts. And when I say pummeled, I should have taken pictures. This poor car had probably 150 dents in it from acorns. I kid you not. They are making things out of aluminum foil nowadays. And speaking of aluminum foil, this got bumped, and when it got bumped, it's got, let's see if we can get the right light here. It's got a little whoops right here in the fender, just right here. Beyond that, these are aftermarket pipes, and the aftermarket pipes were rubbing the side cover. So yes, I do have the side cover, and I cleaned, polished, and waxed the side cover, but it still has a really big nasty spot right here where my hand is. But when I get the rest of that bike cleaned up, boy is it gonna be pretty. I do not have that bolt which secures it on, but we are going to set her in place just so that we can see. In fact, let me clamp you guys right here. be good enough. Don't you think? I think. Oh. Don't get old, folks. Just don't do it. It is not worth it. I don't know that this side cover is going to go on with these pipes on. I don't see how it can. Maybe. Incredible. You know what? Let me pause you guys. I will be right back. There we go. We got her on there. Didn't have the screw, but I do have a big stockpile of JIS screws, so that wasn't a problem. I just cut a piece of heavy rubber, just made a little rubber gasket there till I can get the correct dealio, which I can only assume would be similar to, let's see, does this one have one? I don't see one. Well, whatever the correct is, I'll figure it out. You guys want to see if this thing will start and hear it run? Now, the ride that I gave it did it a lot of good. See how big and fat that back tire is. Neat. Let's just go ahead and start it. Hopefully. Woo, hopefully it'll start. And what? I had to take the upper exhaust off, or just loose, so I could get that cover on. It's good to know. If I get stuck somewhere, I better make sure that I've got a 6mm Allen wrench with me, right? Okay. Let's see if it's going to behave. You gonna start? You gonna start? Ready? Contact. That you see coming out there is being sprayed WD-40 on the bolts. Excuse me, PV blaster on the bolts. You want to hear it? You really want to hear it? Oops. Noise alert! Sorry. What are my plans with it? I am not sure. I'm going to get everything ironed out with it. Get it cleaned up. It hasn't been cleaned up in a number of years. It's been sitting idle in a garage. But we'll go through and clean it up. You gotta figure it's 14 years old. It can have some bumps and bruises and scrapes. I just noticed over here on this fender, there's also a little whoops right there. Must have been a rear impact because the license plate bracket also has a little dent in it. I'm not exactly sure where it got hit or what caused it. Maybe here, because there is a little hole in that lens. Maybe that's where it got tagged. I don't know. You guys want to take a walk around it with me? Definitely needs cleaned. It's dirty. It is shaft drive. Oh, I'm missing another screw on the little luggage rack back here. That's good to know. I'll find something to stick in there in the interim. And I'm pretty sure the paint will clean up. I really don't want to run a rag over it and run the risk of scratching the paint. That'll just mean more work for me when I go to wax it. Must have had a leak at some point. I think when the handlebars were changed over, that's probably when that happened. But I like the old classic look of it. It is obviously not a Harley, but it's got a real decent rumble. crash bar was added, and the footrests, they do collapse, as does the brake. So if it goes down, that won't protect the exhaust, but it will protect the engine. And these lights here were added. Kick the key back on here. Not bad. I like it. I like it. But definitely not a Harley, but it certainly is plenty powerful. Once that carburetor started to clear itself out, it sat down and just planted me in the seat. Just incredible. Really, really, really nice ride. So you may see a little bit more of it here and there. And we still have the 86 GL 1000 or 12, yeah, GL 1200 to pay some attention to. And the attention that we need to pay to it is just a number of parts that I've got stashed over there on that workbench, which desperately needs to be gone through so I can get stuff narrowed down. But I'll take care of the carburetor on the John Deere, take care of the steering on this. This is pressing. Their yard's getting out of hand, so I've got to get on that. Oh, something else that I need to do to it, which is just kind of minor, is the stop cable came out of its seat up there. It's just in a clamp, and it pulled through the clamp, so we need to address that just a little bit. But what do you guys think? Do you like it? I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. Looks like it's got a gunmetal gray and a gold pinstripe around the tank and around here. Look how close those bars come to that tank. They're not touching. The cable's touching, but the bar's not touching. Woo! You guys want to see what it feels like to sit on it? Here, hop on. There you go. This is my perspective as I'm going down the road. It does have heel-toe shifter, which is really, really nice, especially with my foot the way that it is. And these are floating floorboards, just meaning, I don't know if you can see them wiggling. They float on the pads, so you don't get a lot of vibration at all. I noticed almost no vibration. But yeah, I couldn't go wrong for the price and those miles. Couldn't go wrong at all. I just had to. And I guess that's going to round it out. Zippo is fine. I took last Sunday off. I suppose I can turn everything around here and talk to you guys directly. How about that? So you can see that it's actually me, huh? Are you ready? Yeah, it's actually me. Here, I'll just clip you guys to the handlebars. I'm okay. I just took last Sunday off. I apologize. I had a few people that were concerned. I definitely appreciate everybody's concern. It touches my heart that so many of you express your worry when you don't see me. But just know I have been busy. I've been out working. I've not been overdoing it. I've been putting in maybe 3, possibly 4 hours on a good day, and then if I'm not feeling well, I push whatever I was going to do that day off to the next day, and I'm having to relearn how far I can move my head. First time I had a fusion, I had to relearn how to move my head, and I didn't get a fusion this time, but I still have to relearn how far I can turn before my neck says wrong move. So thank you guys for all your concern, both concern through comments, through emails, and for those of you who are concerned who haven't reached out, I'm okay. I'm alright. we've got work to do. Some things been put on the back burner to take care of more pressing issues. Miss Zippo has a riding mower to mow with, so she's not doing without a mower while the Cub Cadet is here. Not to worry about that at all. I already have a home for her, little 34-inch Gravely zero turn. So just as soon as I get this one done, which I may drag Miss Zippo out here on Sunday and have her help me. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We've got a pretty busy weekend coming up here. I've got opening day of softball and baseball season for Lisa's grandkids, so we're going to be going to that. Anyway, all right. Friendly neighborhood Zippo, I'm still here. And I promise I will see you guys on the next one. Kind of weird content, but if you like it, hit that bell icon next to my subscribe. If you're not already subscribed, subscribe. Click on my little orange face right there to subscribe. Over here is a random video, and over here is my latest upload. I'll see you guys on the next one. Remember, thumbs ups.